just say a few words here at this occasion, this gathering to remember Dolores. I was thinking as I saw the picture groups, there's a woman who was a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, a great-great-grandmother, an aunt in my case, a sister, and a friend of everyone who is here. I'm so grateful for Dolores. And I was thinking about our parents and what they mean to us from the time when we are little tiny people and they're cradling us lovingly in their arms. Someone like a mother like Dolores, who then becomes a focal point, the true symbol of home that we can return to and that we can refer to give us a sense of meaning and home in our lives. And that continues throughout our lives. And then we get to a moment like this, which is a moment of saying goodbye, our last moment to think about being with her on this earth. But even in a moment like this, Dolores is giving a gift to this family that she has given again and again. She's bringing this family home. I mean, look at the size of this group of people. A couple of weeks ago, I wouldn't have believed that I'd be in Omaha with some of my favorite, most beloved people in this world, remembering this wonderful woman. Even in death, she has given us this gift of togetherness and family. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to be together. I want to say something last night, quite late. Our cousin Alan gave me a call. So he's kind of here in spirit and thought and prayer. And he asked me to greet all of you and to let you know that he really wished he could have been here but couldn't because of health reasons. It's beautiful to gather on a day like this and to think about this thing that I've talked about of family. I remember this magical occurrence that would happen just about every summer when my family would get in a car for what seemed like forever and travel to Scottsbluff. And we would pile out of the car and there would be what you can only describe as millions of cousins. There were so many of them. And the times we had playing together. I mean, magic is the only way you can describe what this family has meant to us. And I have to say that in a very real way, Dolores, I look at as a parent figure also in my life, as someone who's sort of one of my moms. And that is because in the year 1969, she, together with Uncle Chuck, and together with our beloved Grandma Bertha, did the unthinkable. They took on a fourth teenager. There was not just Mark and Janet and Chuck. There was David there in the picture too. Because the Schick'S had this thing where we decided to move just about every year or two. Ohio, California, wherever it was. Sometimes when we saw you guys, it wasn't at Scottsbluff, you came to us. But after me going to 3 different high schools, each of those first 3 years, they said, we got to do something for David. And they asked if maybe he could go to Scottsbluff. And immediately, Grandma and your mom, Dolores, and Chuck said, sure, we'll take him and make him feel at home. And that was such an important year in my life. And so she means so much to me, as do all of you. And I'm really grateful for that. I just want to share my favorite memory from that year at Scottsbluff is Dolores chasing me around Grandma's house with a pair of scissors. That really happened. She was not trying to kill me, although I wouldn't blame her, you know. I was a snotty teenager. But she was trying to administer a haircut that the principal said must happen if David was to continue in high school. That was the way it was in those days, although my hair was actually shorter then than it is now. Chuck and Mark and everybody know what I'm talking about. She did catch me. I did get the haircut. I got to finish school. And years later, I was privileged to live not too far from here in the town of Hebron. I had a 1-year assignment when I was preparing to become a pastor. There was my wife Carla and our 2 young kids. And so we were able to reconnect with Chuck Dolores, who came out to Glenwood, that came out to see us. And she and I laughed and laughed about the scissor event, the famous haircut. And we had so much fun talking at that time. Of course, I wasn't a snotty teenager anymore, so we could actually have a conversation. And we talked about our faith. what was going on in the Catholic Church, what it's like in the Lutheran, what we liked, what we thought could do better. It was just so meaningful being a part of her life and knowing her in the way I did. So I just wanted to give you a word to sum up this day. And it's a word that's really occurred to me in the last day or two. It is the word gratitude. Gratitude. There's no doubt this is a day in which we use words like loss, grief, pain, sorrow. But I believe when we think about this woman and we think about this family, the overwhelming feeling that could well up inside us is gratitude. To just be so thankful for what we have and what we see and what we are. Yesterday evening, I was coming up the freeway from Lincoln to Omaha, and it's a full moon night last night. I don't know if you noticed. The moon perched right above the interstate, and it just, the way the road happened to be in this time of year, it just stayed there. And I looked at it, and I'm driving toward it, and at one point I went, oh my gosh, this is a gorgeous planet. I can't believe we have been given a place like this to live. I look around me, and it's like a painter took a brush and created something so beautiful. And I just wanted to give you that gift of the word gratitude, and to say a moment like this, remembering this woman, is not primarily a moment of sorrow. It is a moment of wonder. How could we have been so lucky to have a family like this to belong to? A woman like this to know the parents that we had in the Dermer and the Schick clan, and the city that we have become together. I want you to connect with that word gratitude. I want you to think that a moment like this helps us to reconnect with ideas like transcendence, spirituality, hope, forgiveness. There's so much we don't understand. There's so much darkness and division out there. You're seeing it. We're all living it. But I believe we can live in a place that focuses instead on the inner life, on concepts like eternity, on concepts like higher power that we need so much for our lives, on concepts like God and belonging to the family of God, which is what all of you are to me. And so I just wanted to leave you with that thought on this day, that I am grateful for Deloras. I'm grateful for everybody who is here and those who could not be with us today. I'm grateful that the people I'm seeing today are not accidents. Now, there may have been a time or two in the course of the many 8 kids that came when the word accident was used, or surprise, perhaps. But I'm here to tell you today there's no such thing as an accidental human. You are not the result of blind chance and random means. You are beautifully and lovingly created. You have purpose. You are here for a reason. Part of your reason is to enrich the lives of each other, to enrich mine, for me to enrich yours, for us to pray and hope and think and connect and try and overcome all the hatred and the sorrow that's out there. You've been given that gift. So let this day be a day of hope, a day of remembering, a day of giving thanks for a beautiful creation, for a gift of a beautiful family, and the gift of a truly beautiful woman, Deloras Dermer. Amen.